When I was a little girl, there was an old man in our village. People called him strange because he never got angry, never cried, never shouted. Even when bad things happened, he just smiled and said, "Let's see what happens next." At first, I didn't understand, but now I remember his words every time my heart is broken. This is his story, and maybe after you hear it, you will carry it with you too. There was a small village by the hills. The houses were made of wood and stone. People knew each other. They laughed together, worked together, and sometimes they judged together. In that village lived a quiet old man named Mr. Theo. He lived in a small house with an old orange cat and a big chestnut horse. Mr. Theo didn't speak much. He was not rich. He collected herbs from the forest and sold them in town. But he had something special, his horse. The horse's name was River. She was tall, fast, and gentle. Her mane was soft like silk. Children in the village loved her. People from other towns came just to see her. Many rich men offered to buy River. Even the mayor once said, "I will give you 10 gold coins. Name your price." But Mr. Theo always gave the same answer. River is not a thing. She is family. You don't sell your heart just to fill your pocket. People laughed. Some said, "The old man is crazy." Others whispered, "He is just too poor to think straight." One morning, something happened. River was gone. Mr. Theo walked to the stable. The door was open. No hoof prints, no sounds, no River. Villagers came. They stood in front of his house and said, "See, you were foolish. Someone stole her. You could have sold her. Now you have nothing. Your luck is bad, old man." But Mr. Theo simply smiled and said, "The only truth is, River is not here. Everything else we will see." People shook their heads. They didn't understand. They thought he was just trying to hide his pain. 2 weeks passed. One night, rain. In the morning, a loud sound woke the village. Hoofbeats. River was back, and not alone. She came with 3 wild horses. Strong, beautiful, untamed. Villagers rushed to Mr. Theo's house. "You were right," they cried. Losing River was not bad luck. It was a blessing. Now you have 4 horses. You can be rich." But again, Mr. Theo smiled and said, "The truth is, River came back, and she brought friends. The rest we will see." People didn't know how to answer. Some called him wise. Some still called him strange. "Oh no, this is terrible," they said. "See, the horses were not a gift. They were a curse. Now your grandson may never walk well again. Mr. Theo touched Liam's head and said softly, "The truth is, Liam broke his leg. We don't know yet if it is good or bad. Let's see what happens next." People were confused. How can he be so calm? They asked each other. His only grandson may be lame forever. 2 months later, war came. Soldiers from the city went to every house. All young men must join the army, they said. The kingdom is in danger, mothers cried. Fathers hugged their sons tightly. Boys packed their clothes in silence. But they didn't come for Liam. His leg was still weak. He stayed behind. Now the village looked different. The boys were gone. The air felt heavy. Some houses were quiet, too quiet. A group of parents came to Mr. Theo's house. Their eyes were red from crying. "You were right," they said. "Liam's broken leg saved him. Our sons are at war. We don't know if they'll come back." Mr. Theo offered them tea. He listened quietly, then said, "We don't know what is good or bad. We only know what is happening now. The truth is, your sons went to serve the land. You didn't choose it, but it happened. Don't live in the past. Don't live in fear of the future. Just take care of this moment. What you do with your thoughts, that is what matters." They nodded slowly. Later that evening, I walked to Mr. Theo's house. I was just a little girl. He sat outside with Liam, watching the sky. I asked him, "Grandpa Theo, how do you stay happy when bad things happen?" He looked at me and smiled. "Do you like stories?" I nodded. "Imagine life is a book. You read one page. It says something sad, but you don't throw the book away, right? You keep reading. You turn the page. Maybe the next page has something beautiful. People try to name everything. This is good. That is bad. But we don't know the whole story yet. So I say, let's see what happens next." Years passed. Mr. Theo is no longer here, but I still remember his words. Now, when something breaks in my life, when someone leaves, when I fall down, I don't say, "Why me?" I just say, "This is what happened. The rest we will see. Bad times come. Good times come. But peace comes when we stop naming everything too fast.